This is a Kirkendall Barrett presentation, darling.
Feed me, meow, meow, meow.
Because of this podcast, I'm a gay icon.
I'm so hot. I'm so good looking. My salad dressing is amazing.
Like the internet at large, there are things you can do on the internet besides porn, but most of it's porn.
A lifetime of Hallmark.
Well, hello, everybody. It is your favorite day of the week. It is time for another episode of A Lifetime of Hallmark, where we talk about your favorite movies on both Lifetime and the Hallmark channel and try to make sense of them. I am Les Kirkendall Barrett. Hello, Jason Bowers.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett.
And hello, Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Hello, Les Kirkendall Barrett, and hello, Jason Bowers.
And we made it through the opening. This is like our umpteenth time.
And a few false starts, yeah.
Yeah, we had some technical issues.
Yeah, but here we are.
But we're here.
You're very you started off very subdued there, Les.
Who, me?
Yeah, you were like, hello.
Oh, because I was tired because this movie was so boring.
Yeah, it was. Oof.
Like, I seriously contemplating having a cup of coffee after watching it. And seriously, I was like tired.
I fell asleep while the movie was on, and I was sitting not in a sofa or a bed. I was in a straight back chair, like a dining room chair, and I still fell asleep.
I was going to say, I feel like the movie, the pacing was very similar to how actual postal mail moves. It was very slow.
Right. And the thing is, once again, this movie actually had the potential to be good.
Did it?
Well, no. Well,
I'm glad you see that.
Well, no.
I mean, I guess by everything has the potential to be good.
Well, you know, I mean, I thought that it was like a different take on the Lady Detective.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was part of a series of movies, much like that one we watched a few weeks ago. This was a series that premiered on Hallmark 10 years ago. It lasted a season from one of the EPs of Touched by an Angel, who also used to write for The Facts of Life, by the way. But then they decided after one season they were going to turn it into just TV movies. So there have been a bunch of these.
Well, they could have saved their time.
Yeah, I didn't know that boring. I didn't know the things this boring even existed anymore.
Oh yeah,
I know, right?
With today's culture, this is so boring. The only people watching this movie are like people like us for podcasts, people in open MRIs, and people in assisted living who aren't. Because if I worked in assisted living, I would turn this movie on because it's just like having white noise. That's basically what it is, white noise.
Right.
Like, oh yeah. Yeah.
No, that's true. That's true. No, this movie was really boring. And the thing is, it did have so the person's father was like very good looking.
Oh, Gregory Harrison, of course.
Yes.
Do you remember him from Trapper John back in the day?
Yes, I do. But he aged very well.
He did. He's like 74 now.
Yeah. No, he aged
I remember like being young and not knowing I was gay and feeling a tingle for him back in the day.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then the other guy from Ugly Betty was very good looking.
Yes.
Oh, and that couldn't even help this movie.
No. The only thing that got it got mildly interesting when the one guy, he started having kind of like an existential crisis. So I was like, oh, this is kind of interesting. But it only goes on for about 5 minutes and then the movie gets boring again. And
the ending of this movie pissed me off.
Same.
Because it did not have to end that way.
It did not at all.
Did not
at all.
No, that was bullshit. That was a bullshit ending.
Especially for like in a Hallmark universe where everything ends with a happy ending. There is absolutely a way where they could have written this movie where there ends up being a happy ending.
Right. Yeah. Right, because the person didn't do anything wrong.
Well, maybe she'll go. We'll talk about that.
Nothing. Yeah, the person did nothing wrong. Well, the person did a little wrong, but not
They didn't do anything wrong. They were an accomplice, like an unknowing accomplice, and then eventually just like had to go along with it to protect their kids.
Right. This could have easily been fought in court, and they would have won.
Well, this movie did not earn the privilege to be making such a bold choice.
This movie didn't earn the privilege to be made, yet here we are.
If Elspeth Tassioni was involved, this would have been like solved.
And this is a series, huh?
A series of movies,
Wow.
yeah. That's why they like all these the four main characters. We were treated as if we should know everything going on in their lives.
Well, they were annoying too.
Oh God, yeah.
That one guy, he looked like he looked like really uncomfortable being on camera.
Who, the nerdy guy?
Yeah, I guess you could say he's nerdy. Yeah. The other guy, it was like two couples.
Yeah.
So there's kind of like the main guy with the dad, and then that other guy.
Yeah.
He was making these weird faces. I don't know if he's ever been on camera.
Maybe
before.
he has been in all these fucking movies.
Right.
Well, maybe he needs to do some kind of relaxation exercise.
Maybe like the girl at the center of this movie, he also was on the run and was uncomfortable that like somebody might actually watch this one.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Well, you know who's always comfortable on camera, though?
Hey, but before you say that, don't worry. He doesn't have to worry about a thing. No one's watching these movies.
Three of us did.
We did, yeah, but I'm not going to report him. I feel bad for him.
But do you know what the world is watching? Who the world is watching? Kurt, do you have any Black China news?
Doing a piece of China.
China.
I'm talking China.
The Black China Report. Here's Kurt Fitzpatrick.
Well, we're light on Black China news, but not light on news in the Black China universe.
Oh, the BCU.
And you won't be disappointed because Black China's mother, Tokyo Toni, well, it looks like she has love on her mind.
Oh, good.
Now, this is an article from hotnewhiphop.com, an article by Bryson Boom Paul, a recent article. Okay, so the internet godmother Tokyo Toni shared a clip of her with a new love interest on social media over the weekend. While the relationship remains unconfirmed, the huge smile on Toni's face throughout the clip appears to assure a possible romance. Tokyo Toni has led a life that is often played out in the public eye, with a string of relationships that have captured and puzzled fans. Her dating history includes multiple marriages, high-profile partnerships, and a candid exploration of her sexual identity. One of her most significant relationships was with Marcellus Hunter. They began their relationship in July 2009 and tied the knot on October 8, 2012. Their marriage endured several difficulties, including a restraining order filed by Hunter in 2017 after alleged allegations of threats from Toni. Despite these turbulent moments, the couple reconciled, remarried on Valentine's Day in 2020, marking their fifth wedding.
Wait, what? Their fifth wedding to each other?
I guess so. It says their fifth wedding. Okay. So before her union with Hunter, Toni was married to Philip Kennedy I think she was married all these times. Okay. So before her union with Hunter, Toni was married to Philip Kennedy from 1989 to 1995. In 1997, she briefly dated adult film star John E. Depth. Though the relationship was short-lived. In 1987, Toni also had a relationship with Eric Holland, with whom she shares a daughter, Angela Renee, born in 1988. Okay? Is that Black China, Angela Renee, born in 1988?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So Toni has been open about her bisexuality, embracing both men and women in her relationships. Her openness about her identity was further highlighted in 2019 when she hosted the dating show Tokyo Toni: Finding Love ASAP. The show saw her pursue relationships with both genders, reflecting her inclusive and unapologetic approach to love. Throughout her life, Toni has faced significant challenges in her relationships, many of which have played out in the public sphere. Yet she remains resilient, refusing to shy away from the truth. Despite the controversies, Toni has built a reputation for unapologetic honesty and continues to be a bold presence in the media.
Well, there you go.
She is a role model for Girl Scouts everywhere.
I just asked ChatGPT how many times she's been married, and it's unclear. It's either 5 or 6.
Okay.
Oh,
Average of 5.
But she says, while the exact number of marriages may vary depending on the source, it's evident that Tokyo Tony has a complex marital history.
Yes.
it's true.
And that relationship with Johnny Depp. John
Depp.
E. Depp.
That's
Yes.
funny. That's funny. John E. Depp. So, shall we get into this shit show?
I guess.
I wish
Should.
it were a shit show. If it were a shit show, it'd be interesting.
Well, rough scene over there. A movie that involves a postal museum. Now, I actually like museums, but I don't know.
So I want to point out some of the guest stars they've had in previous movies in this series. Valerie Bertinelli,
Oh, I would
Carol
like that.
Burnett,
I would have loved that.
Valerie Harper, Mary
I would
Lou
like that.
Henner,
Where
Della
are those people
Reese.
Wow, that was a long time ago. Then if Della Reese was in it,
Well, yeah, I mean, like I said, this has been around for over 10 years.
Well, they steered clear of this one.
But I do think it's weird, like with us reviewing Hallmark movies every week, and this series has been around for 11 years, and none of us has heard of it. That's
I didn't know it
fucking
was part of
weird.
the series.
Yeah.
What's
I didn't know it was
Carol
part of the
Burnett
series.
doing? Carol Burnett was in one of these
She
movies?
played Norman's grandmother. She played the weird guy's grandmother.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. They must have had a camera like hidden outside of her window or something like that to get her in this movie. I just can't imagine. I'm just refusing to believe things nowadays. Like I hear this stuff, I'm like, that just didn't happen. It didn't happen.
Right.
I don't believe it. My reality didn't happen.
Why does Norman's grandmother look like she's being held hostage?
They're all
And she's
being
tugging
held
her
hostage.
ear.
That's why, some of the people look comfortable on camera because they're comfortable having a gun pointed at them. I think. I don't know.
Right.
I do think there is a level of actor where it's like they don't work all the time, and it's like they're so close to getting their benefits for the year, so they'll take a job just to kind of put them over the top. I don't think that was probably the case with the Carol Burnett, but I could see like Valerie Bertinelli being like, "Oh yeah, I'll do this, sure."
Because sometimes I've seen like things on Facebook because people sometimes like put something out there like I'm $200 away from getting my benefits. Does anybody know of a gig?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, these days it's gotten way worse, but
Yeah.
in the past I've definitely seen people, $250 away. Can someone put me in something? Even like
Yeah.
I know some people who were even willing to like they're like even extra work for like my $200.
I saw that happen. It was on a shoot, and somebody from The Wire, like he needed like one more day, so he worked as an extra. They never used him. He just like hung out in holding.
Right.
Speaking of that, can I ask you guys a trivia question?
Okay.
Sure.
This is a Hollywood trivia question.
Okay.
I think you guys would know this, but let's see, because I might not. Okay, so what are the big 5 film studios existing right now?
Paramount,
Warner Brothers,
Warner Brothers,
Sony,
Disney.
One more.
Universal.
Universal. Yep.
Yeah.
Have both of you guys worked for every studio in some capacity at some point?
Yes.
I've worked on Warner Brothers. I've worked on Paramount and Universal.
I've worked on all of them at least as an extra.
I think either as a temp, like working, or as an extra. I think I work for all of them, or like stand-in work.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Anyway,
Well, let's get this done because I'm going. Get this, Jason.
Okay.
I'm going to a gallery opening at Circus of Books tonight.
Oh, which one?
The West Hollywood one.
Well, no, there's two of them.
That's a good question. That's a good question.
It's probably the old school one. It's probably the one by Orbar.
That's okay. I get it.
Orbar.
That's a good question. Okay, so because my friend invited me to go, which
All right,
Circus of Books.
Do your calendar stuff later. It's just people don't want to hear this at home.
Okay.
He needs to know this. Though. There's 2
Anyhow.
locations.
Yeah, no, thank you, Jason, for pointing that out.
You're welcome.
All right, I'm just trying to keep things going.
It's like if you go to that
So-
Italian restaurant in Venice, or Venice Marina del Rey, C&O, there's literally 2 locations, both on Washington Boulevard, and they're only like half a mile apart. Confusing.
Oh,
Yes.
oh my gosh. You know what? It's a good thing that I asked, Jason. It's a good thing that you brought that up because it's the one in Silver Lake.
They have one in Silver Lake too?
Or the yeah.
Oh,
East.
okay.
So I was going to go to the West Hollywood one.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't live there. I don't know the streets.
It's an adult
there's-
bookstore.
You're going to an adult bookstore? Well, say hi to Johnny Depp.
Well,
Yeah.
but the thing, but it's a famous
perusing
adult
books.
bookstore.
It is. Yeah, they did a
because for
documentary about it.
decades- Yeah,
Adult
because
books.
because for decades it's a gay adult bookstore, and for decades it was run by a straight older Jewish couple.
Mm-hmm.
For
Okay.
decades.
There's a documentary on Netflix about it
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
that Ryan Murphy produced.
Yeah. Like even I was like shocked. I had no idea because it's like an older, like they were older, and they looked basically like your grandparents running an adult bookstore.
But they basically got into it because they were in like magazine distribution or something and found out that this bookstore was going to close. So they realized like, oh, there's like a market for this, and they took it over.
And then they were going to close and got saved.
See, the more you know. This is way more
Right.
interesting than
Well-
this movie. Trust me.
It is.
Right.
That went in a good that went to a very interesting place.
Well, so I'm going to a gallery opening there, so I'm sure that the art is going to be interesting.
Honest
We'll get some adult
question.
books.
Honest question. Are you sure it's a gallery opening? Or are you
Yes.
just told that you're going to an opening at Circus of Books?
Oh, yeah, that does sound dirty.
It does, but but there was a gallery opening in the invitation.
Okay.
They have adult bookstores kind of in New Jersey, like South Jersey, and there's no windows, and they're open like 24 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what goes on in there.
Sex.
Yeah?
Prostitution. Yeah. No windows is usually seedier. These are like a little more, and now they're, it's in West Hollywood. It used to be very like kind of hidden away, but now it's very like huge panes of glass. You can see right in, see all the merch in there. It's very open now.
Yeah.
This place I'm thinking of is on a really busy road, so I don't think you could be discreet about it if you went there.
But, well, yeah, no, this Circus of Books in West Hollywood is on the main street.
Yeah. Both of them are.
Yeah. Anyway,
Okay.
so
the movie-
we,
The
Yeah.
movie's called Signed, Sealed, Delivered to the Moon and Back.
Yeah.
So we see a crowd. We're in a bar. We have a voiceover. So we see this woman, and she has a handwritten letter. And the guy, Nate, talks to the woman and says, "Hey, I heard you singing in the restroom. Why aren't you up there?" Oh wait, no, that was
that's
another
the bartender
worker
asked
told
you
her.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bartenders. Yeah.
Yeah. The guy is her boyfriend,
Yeah.
Nate.
She says something about stage fright. Then we find out that Nate actually, after this gig, is going to LA. And so he goes up on stage. She writes a letter. Then there's a flashback.
Yeah.
But the only thing that the flashback said was the word motel.
Yeah, the flashback didn't really tell you a lot. It was in like weird slow-mo, like we were watching Dateline kind of sepia tone. So we know that like something dark happened in her life, but we don't know what. It's really vague.
I didn't
But
take
then-
note of that.
But then we go back to the letter. and there's a Maya Angelou postage stamp on there.
Right.
Which when Facebook first started, like how was the thing where you would get poked on Facebook?
Yeah.
I got poked by the official Maya Angelou Facebook account.
Oh, well, look at that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think it was her?
I do.
You know why the caged bird sings?
Oh yeah,
I
but
think you
I'm
can
not
still.
gonna tell.
I think you can still poke people.
I think you can too. But I don't think anyone's actually doing it. Like, I'm poking in real life. I'm not doing it on Facebook.
Speaking of poking, I just found out that my gallery opening is in West Hollywood, but it's in the big giant one.
Why is
Okay.
that speaking
The
of
famous
poking?
one.
Because of poking.
Right.
All right.
At the
So it is in
big opening.
famous one.
If there's a big opening, there's going to be poking.
You're poking in an opening?
Yeah.
So the girl runs out. The girl runs out, and she runs out in slow-mo, and we see her letter drop on the floor under a bar stool.
Well, she runs out because Nate, her boyfriend, tries to introduce her and bring her on stage. She's like, "Oh no, we can't have that."
Right. Then we go to 5 years later. We see a group. They're at brunch. There are two quirky couples
Yeah, they don't seem like couples.
who are very animated, and I wrote, these people are on coke because they're very animated.
They should have shared it
And
with the
annoying.
audience. Wake us up.
Exactly.
So like, and they're eating the waiter offers them kiwi parfaits. The waiter / owner offers them kiwi parfaits. And I wrote in my notes, I must be psychic because I wrote, where is the booze? Then they find this letter. Who found the letter?
The waiter.
Okay.
Because the where this restaurant is that they're at was the club from earlier in the movie 5 years ago. It's the same space.
Right.
Right.
So then he asked them if they wanted mimosas, and I wrote, finally. And both women turned them down. And we found out that both of the women were pregnant. Now, one of the couples is expecting a baby through adoption, but then she's pregnant as well. And then the other woman is pregnant with triplets, right?
Well,
Did they say triplets? I missed that part.
No,
I don't think that was
no.
the thing. No.
They were having 3 babies. The 2 women are pregnant, plus the adoption
Yeah.
baby is coming.
There was this whole exchange. It was very who's on first about. They were confused. Like, wait, you're having a baby? Wait, no, you're having a baby. No, you're adopting a baby. Oh my god, it was so annoying.
I didn't even understand it. It
I'll
seemed
be
like
right
they
back.
went. Okay, he's going to tell. I hear John talking, but
Yeah.
I was going to say
John
anything
can
until now. I
join.
just said
It's
it.
fine.
But this is how they're making it work. All right. So what I was trying to say is that I got lost in this thing, and they explained it. Like they explained. I understood that these both ladies were pregnant, and then it's like, and all of a sudden they said, "Oh wait, you didn't have anything to drink? You didn't drink? You're both we're both pregnant." I was like, "Well, yeah, you already said that."
Yeah.
And then they screamed.
It was no, but it was supposed to be like the blonde chick thought that the glasses chick who looked like Sam B's younger sister was having talking about the baby they were adopting. And
Right.
they all kept collectively referring to we're having a baby, and it's like, yeah, we're your friends. We're having a baby together.
Well, I figured
Abbott
it out,
Costello would have mailed a letter to these people to tell them to stop. And that letter would
Right.
have never gotten there because the U.S. Postal Service is slow.
Right. And speaking of Postal Service, they're opening a post office museum. And then we find out.
Well, first of
that-
all, we should point out that they weren't supposed to open that letter unless they were in postal property, but these fucks are drunk with power and not on mimosas, and they opened it there off-site.
Oh,
Opened
so
it.
So it's okay for them to bend the rules in certain
They
ways.
bent the rules here, and they bent the rules at another point in the movie. They could have bent them just a smidge more to make this movie have a happier ending.
And no one would have ever known.
No.
Well, I guess they have to write a report. I mean, did they work for somebody?
Yeah, write a report and mail it, you fucks.
But no, they actually gave the letter who they gave it to someone, the person who wrote it. So they did get it to the person.
Yeah.
And then,
I know
they did get it to the person who needed to get it.
The whole concept of these movies is apparently that these, and I'm not making this up, audience, that these four are an elite task force, and their task is to find where this letter is supposed to go and get it to those people. Like, if we want to talk about fucking waste in our government, start right here with this fucking movie.
That's what I'm thinking. This is a propaganda movie. People are watching this, and like our taxpayers' money are paying for these people. Like 4 people working for like 2 months to bring back a letter that was lost 5 years ago
in a postal service branch that looks like an antique shop.
Right.
I know. It looks like the basement in what's the movie? Heretic with Hugh Grant. That's what it looks like. I say the word wrong. Is it heretic or heretic? I say it wrong.
Heretic.
Heretic. I did say it right.
Yeah.
So we go to the future post office museum. Oliver, one of their dads, who's very hot, shows up.
Yeah, it's Oliver's dad, played by Gregory Harrison from Trapper John MD. And he was on Falcon Crest and I think even General Hospital recently.
Yeah. Oh, yes, he was. So he's in the attic there, and he is talking to Oliver. But there's a box that he covers up, and he's shifty about it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they are doing something with the letter, and they make out a name.
Yeah, there's like a lab where the dorky guy is where this is like we are watching an episode of CSI USPS. Right.
That's really dark too. I thought it was like some abandoned old post office they were in.
So have you guys noticed the last 2 movies that we've talked about have something to do with foster care? Because because the last one, they were a foster family and Mindy Cohn was their mom. Oh, yeah. This one, the nerdy guy was from a foster family. So I guess maybe that's their new thing is like fostering kids.
I got the impression that was kind of like the premise of these movies at some point, that it was like fostered.
Well, I think the Mindy Cohn one, definitely that was a major plot point. This is I think it's just a character who happens to have a history in foster care. So he's probably bringing in all these interesting people into their world every episode.
Right.
I think that was the bit.
So
they decided to go to Las Vegas? That's the notes I have.
Yeah, they go to Las Vegas.
Because that's where Nate is performing. They find out, they figure out somehow the lyrics of this or the words in this letter are lyrics from Nate's song, but this letter was seemingly written before Nate was famous.
Right. And so they find Nate.
Well, they go to a doctor's office also, and the doctor describes their situation as geriatric pregnancy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
That's a real thing.
And then,
that is a real thing.
And then he starts making up. The husband starts making up. I guess he's making up stories about his parents' health. He says his mother died because she ate fish.
Yes.
I see dead people.
Dead fish.
And his father, he didn't know.
Yeah. Also, this is interesting about this is his biological father, because Gregory Harrison is not his biological dad. We find out that his biological father had an affair with the mother. They say that several times. So does that mean the mom cheated on Gregory Harrison?
Yes.
In a Hallmark movie.
Yes.
Yeah, the guy hopped on top of the mom.
Yeah.
Briefly.
He poked her opening.
He did.
He was a real motherfucker. Now what happened?
He was.
And then he just left. And this other guy from Knots Landing, you said, or Trapper John MD?
Both.
That was not.
Yeah.
He was not from Knots Landing.
He was Falcon Crest.
Falcon Crest. So the guy from Falcon Crest and Trapper John MD, he then had to stick around and be the father. And the other guy just jumped in, left, and then just went home and wrote a bunch of letters.
Yes.
Because he felt kind of bad about the situation.
So when they talk to Nate Holloway, he's being very sketchy with them. And
you're giving us Les just help his notes and had something written on it, and I thought it was like some help message or something.
Maybe it was.
Yeah, help me from watching this movie.
Shit,
so Nate was being.
These look like lyrics from a song that hasn't come out yet as a single.
Yeah, I might record that, Les.
And then meanwhile, Gregory Harrison gives the couple a box.
What's the box that was in the attic?
The box that was in the attic.
Yeah.
And it was a bunch of letters that was written by his father, who he didn't know.
The one who kind of came quick and left.
Right.
Yeah.
Poked his mom and ran. So.
Oh, well.
Oh, and then we find out also from Nate that this person wrote all of his this person who was his ex-girlfriend wrote all of his songs, and she continues to send him songs, but he's not going to reveal her name. And whenever she sends the songs that she writes, she puts a P.O. box with a zip code, and that's where he sends the money.
Well, it was confusing because he said he's saving a bunch of money for her, but also that he's sending her money. Which was it?
Right. And then
and also we didn't mention is that Shane, who's the blonde woman, she hacked into the ticketing system to get them VIP so they could get backstage and talk to Nate.
So
now that I liked.
I like it too, but it's shady for a Hallmark movie.
Yeah, but aren't these government officials too? Aren't they like
again?
The right thing?
They are drunk with fucking power, but didn't use it when they could have.
Because speaking of bending the rules, that's stealing.
Yeah, it's also like a cyber crime.
Yeah, it's like multiple things. Ethical problems across the board.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we get a flashback of the woman saying that she likes to live off of the grid. So later, Oliver starts to open up the letters from his father. And he's reading the letters, and there's a letter, I guess, for each year. There were 43 letters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I guess there was a letter for each year of his life. Now, I don't know why the dad stopped at 43. But
he expected that's as long as he was going to live, I guess.
Maybe
the dad's no longer alive.
And so, so then they are on both couples are on a Winnebago.
Oh yeah, it's like an RV.
Why they're on a Winnebago, I don't know.
Because they're going to Wyoming, because that's the next stop.
Right. Okay. There are airplanes. Or no. Actually, they were in Colorado and going to Wyoming, so that's a 3-hour drive.
Right.
But you still don't need a Winnebago.
Just take a car.
Take a regular car.
This Winnebagos cost a lot. Gas costs a lot of money in these things.
Again, these fucks are drunk with power. They are just wasting government money.
Elon Musk watched this movie, and that's why we're having these conversations.
Right? But yeah, I've done the drive from Wyoming to Colorado, and it was a 3-hour drive.
I probably have too.
So they go to this place called Boxes Aplenty.
Which is not Circus of Books.
No.
No, a little more subdued.
The different. Well, they have box. They don't. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they go in there, and there's an employee who acted exactly how I would probably act if I had that job.
Yeah.
She was on her phone. She could care less. Then they whipped out their postage badges, and she still was like, whatever.
Yeah, I'd be like, this is ridiculous. Put that away. You should be embarrassed.
So then we find out.
Can you imagine working at any job, and then like it's one thing if like a police officer in uniform comes in and says that they're law enforcement and like I need to talk to you, but like if somebody in plain clothes came in and they're like, I need to have a word. I'm with the Postal Service. You'd be like, get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
I say, I can help you, but if a crossing guard comes in, they'll have priority.
Yeah.
So we find out that the name that is being used for this post office box is Jane K. Carter, but then they found out that this is a fake identity because Jane K. Carter is dead.
I see dead people.
So then they decide to camp. They all wanted to go stay at a hotel, but they decided to camp, which did not look fun.
No.
The one woman, she says this is the worst thing she's ever experienced. They're sitting outside, and she says that.
Well,
it's like, well, you had a choice, I think.
Also, like, think about it. You've got two women that are pregnant. They're like, yeah, let's sleep in a camper.
Yeah, they got to sleep. Well, they've got to sleep in like a little pup tent outside on the ground.
And the one woman,
no,
was
you sleep inside.
Pregnant.
The table turns into a bed. And then the side like opens up. There's like you can normally sleep like 8 people in one of those things.
You sleep at a table.
Yeah.
Have you slept in one of those things with 8 people?
I have not slept in one, but I've seen them. Like literally, like the kitchen table. It's you can drop it down so it is level with the benches where you sit, and then you put a cushion down so it's all the way across, and it becomes a bed.
Yeah.
Actually, I've heard from musicians, and they could have. I don't know if they went by this too, but you're not supposed to shit in those things.
Not supposed to, but I bet somebody's done it.
Well, I hope they went out and like used the lake or something like that, or
don't shit in the lake.
The lake,
yeah.
That is the name of Nate's next single. Is "Don't Shit in the Lake."
Yeah, she writes him a letter. I had to shit. That's different. That woman wasn't there.
She's singing about her fiber intake.
The lake,
or find some ancient well in the forest and shit in that.
Why?
You know, it's because if you defecate, I don't want to say shit anymore. If I say it one more time, this will be rated R. So if you defecate,
I've dropped the F-bomb like 5 times today already.
If you defecate in an RV, from my understanding, it's problematic because you got to pump it out, or it makes the whole place smell.
So
bad.
your solution is that they should shit in an ancient well? Like you want them to shit in a place where it's gonna like put a curse on them somehow?
Well, connect the dots. I mean, it makes sense to me. I didn't say it would give them a curse. I'm saying an ancient well has sort of the same aesthetic quality of it.
But like, what people are getting their water from the well, like
drinking water.
Yeah, people are trying to like make dinner and feed their families, and they're like turning on the water. And they're like, why is it brown?
You can't shit in a well.
I'm talking about an ancient well that they can find in the forest. That could be a subplot of the movie. They go on this search to find this ancient well.
Oh dear.
I'm just coming up with solutions.
I mean, in Kurt's defense, he is trying to write a better movie here.
Right. Oh, so then
I don't think people are used to solutions these days. I'm coming up with some good ones. And sometimes that's jarring to people.
I think we should all write our congressman and be like, look, you need to stop with this Doge stuff. Like, just go shit in a well, and that'll solve everything.
Right.
It does sound good to me.
Oh, like okay. That. So the next day they're stalking the mailbox store.
Yeah.
And then someone drives up and she has like a little minivan, and it has a wheelchair accessible sticker.
Yeah.
So they follow the minivan
in a fucking RV.
Yeah.
They're tailing somebody, trying to be inconspicuous, following them in a camper.
Right.
They should have gone all the way, gotten like gorilla outfits and look like the banana splits. I mean, why not go all the way with the, conspicuousness?
So the car parks, the woman goes into the house, and then she's playing the organ for like an old lady.
Yeah.
So then Oliver goes in and calls her out, and he's like, I know your name is Tracy. And then she tells the story. And so what happened is, when she was a kid, her dad robbed a bank.
Her dad, who was the manager of the bank, robbed the bank.
Oh,
right.
So he had the key.
And so then he escaped with his family and went on the run. But and then he ended up gambling away all of the money and ditching them. Now,
it should also
first of all,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, it should be pointed out the dad went on the run with it. They didn't know they were on the run from him having committed this crime initially. They pick him up for work one day. He gets in the car, takes the mom's phone, throws the mom's phone out the door, basically framing the mom for this bank robbery. And they don't find out till 3 days later what's happened.
Now, the mom could plead coercive control because it was.
Right.
Because because the reason why they're on the run is because they said the mom is now considered an accomplice. Well, coercive control, it seemed that the mom was abused, and I didn't know why the kids are on the run, because the kids were minors.
I don't think they were on the run as much as mom went along with this, like not really realizing like I should probably get out of this, but I've got to find a way to provide for my kids.
Right.
And then dad leaves and she's like, well, I've got to protect my kids now.
And she was afraid.
Yeah.
Well, he may have been manipulating her too, controlling her.
Right. Exactly. And so she said, they were on the run, like the mom and the kids were on the run, and they would go from town to town. And when she was 18, she decided to go out. This woman decided to go out on her own. And then she had something set up where she was getting in contact with her mom, but then they ended up on like America's Most Wanted or something.
Yeah.
And so then her mom went more underground, and so she hadn't spoken to her mom in 5 years. And I wrote, why didn't her mom just go to Canada?
Yeah.
If she was driving around, there are places where you can get into Canada and not have to go through border control.
Maybe not anymore.
Did you see that on 60 Minutes where they're like they have to like go through the woods somewhere? It's not safe.
And this was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So it would have been easier. It was 5 years ago, before we were fighting with Canada. Canada, we were nice to Canada back then.
Yeah. Are you doing any Canadian fringes this year, Les?
I am not. Only because I didn't get in.
Okay.
I didn't get any lotteries. But I'm wondering, because a lot of our friends do shows in the summer in Canada, I'm wondering if it's going to be hard for them to get over the border this year.
I think it's going to be a challenge probably across the border.
I think it's going to be a challenge, more challenging getting back than getting in.
I had issues. I used to have going to Canada to do theater festivals. I used to have issues with the border patrol, to the Americans.
See, I would always get a letter from them. And so
I would get a letter, but I got brought in and searched One time I got completely searched, and one of the guys was just like staring me down.
Oh,
One time they looked through my entire car.
Oh, you drove. See, I always fly.
Yeah. Oh, you fly. It's easier. Yeah.
Yeah,
I go through the car, and they would bring me in, and the Canadian border never bothered me. It was the Americans who always bothered me.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Yeah, I've always flown.
Yeah.
Oh, so she tells Oliver and company, hey, if you find my mom, tell my mom that Lily is okay, and Lily is my real name.
Yeah. And also, she's been saving the money that Nate's been sending her for her mom. Like, all these people are saving this money.
And he's mailing her just wads of cash, apparently.
Yeah.
Which obviously, but then he said that the songs that she's written have all become hits, so he's not paying her enough.
Well, he's saving. Remember, he did say he's saving the rest of the money for her.
Because
and he does. I forgot to mention this when they were on his tour bus. He pulled out like one of those accordion folders. I just love that this like major rock star is like on tour at his tour bus, and he's like, "Oh, let me get my notes." And it's like one of those old school accordion folders where, like, you know, my parents used to file their bills when I was like 5 years old.
Right. Now, technically, she should have the publishing because she wrote the song.
Yeah, but she's been off the grid.
True.
Right.
She wanted him that credit.
Right. Okay.
Did we skip that, or did we go through that when they actually spoke to Nick?
Nate?
No, we already talked about that.
We did that. Okay. Yeah.
When they went to Vegas.
Vegas. Yeah. Okay.
So then they came up with, so they talked to the one guy who was in foster care, and I guess his mom had abandoned him. And they were like, well, what did you do when you and your mom got separated? And he goes, well, the first thing I did was I went back to the place where I last saw my mom. And so they said, well, this is probably, we should do that with her as well.
Yeah.
And then they were like, we're required to report her to the FBI.
Yeah.
Yes.
These fucks open this letter off-site. They're breaking in. They're hacking major worldwide ticketing systems to get VIP backstage passes. But we got to report this poor kid's mom to the FBI.
When they know that the mom was innocent.
Yeah.
And there's no money left.
Right. And the mom never got to spend the money anyway. The dad spent all the money.
Right. Gambled it all away.
So, then we find out that the doctor wants to see the couple. The one couple.
Yeah.
So, the Gregory Harrison is asking Oliver if he's okay. Then we get to the doctor. We find out that the woman has elevated glucose levels, so she may get diabetes, which is common in pregnant women.
Controllable.
Yeah.
So, and she's got a fucked up back from sleeping in a camper and shitting in an ancient well.
Right.
See, the way you put it, it does sound poetic to me.
So then
Nate should sing it in a song.
So then Oliver gets mad at Gregory Harrison because he was like, you should have given me these letters sooner. And Gregory Harrison was like, well, first of all, because then we find out they hadn't spoken in 10 years. And then Gregory Harrison is like, and I forgot. Like, he's like, after 10 years, I just forgot that these letters were in my attic, which is perfectly plausible.
I think Rex Harrington had a point. Rex, I just said
Harrington.
I mean, Gregory Harrison?
Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah.
Rex Harrington had a point. No, I don't know. It was a bit of an uncomfortable situation. Somebody just like hopped in for the night and conceived.
Yeah, I'm actually on Team Gregory Harrison in this situation, because it's like he's raised this kid as his own admirably, and they hadn't spoken for a long time, and has like at least kept these letters that the biological dad has sent. He didn't even have to keep them. Right. He eventually gives them to his son for the son to, like, hey, do with it what you want. Like, he's the hero here.
Right.
Yeah, a lot of guys would have thrown all those out.
Yeah. I would have dumped him in an ancient well.
Exactly.
Well,
so then he yells at Gregory Harrison.
Let's not multi-purpose the ancient well.
Too late.
But then they go to the church where her mom.
One guy goes. Yeah.
So the one guy goes to the church where her mom works.
And
he's sitting
where
in the
Lily's
church.
mom works. Yeah.
Right.
Lily.
And she goes in because she's the organist, and she starts talking to him, and he lays out all of his problems to her, and then he tells her, "Oh, and by the way, I know where your daughter is. I work for the post office. Here's your money. Your daughter's fine, and we have to arrest you and tell the FBI about you."
Is her name's Lily?
No, the daughter's Lily.
Oh, Lily.
But that's
Lily Munster?
bullshit. Yeah. So I thought, and the movie's almost over, and so I thought that they were just going to maybe reunite them and then turn a blind eye and like let the mom go away.
Yeah.
Well, what's amazing to me about this is they're trying to make it like these people are so competent at their jobs that they can't let this go. This is an actual crime. This woman is they're looking for her for this crime. We have to turn her in. But yet they're like, okay, we'll turn a blind eye for 6 weeks until your other daughter turns 18. Well, if you can turn a blind eye for 6 weeks, turn a blind eye for the rest of her life. Like,
right.
Yeah, wouldn't their superiors have an issue with that? Like, so you just let this go for 6 weeks?
Right. Because the mom was like, okay, I'll go to prison, but just give me 6 weeks because my daughter is turning 18.
Yeah.
And so I want to prepare her. When they could have just helped her disappear or helped her escape, or even gone to court with her and vouched for her.
Or just, because they don't know for sure that she really isn't involved in this crime, but if they're like trying to help her, just like pretend like they never met her. Pretend like there was, they don't need to report any of it. Because if there's any chance whatsoever that this woman actually is involved in this crime, then they're giving her money. They're aiding and abetting her anyway.
Right. So then they have so then Oliver and his dad make up, and they're having a gala to raise money for this museum. So they go to the gala, and the mom shows up with the sister, the daughter, who was turning 18. And Lily has a song. They reunite Lily with her mother.
At the gala. Like, these dicks bring these poor people together at this very public event to have their, like, last chance to see each other before mom goes to jail.
Yeah.
Right.
That's sweet.
So,
and then they bring her up, Lily.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They have Lily. Lily's going to sing now. And so Lily seems shocked, but it also seems like she prepared an entire song.
Right.
And the mom is like, you have to go do it because I want to see you perform before I go away. And then they cart off the mom before she's done singing.
Can't even wait till she's done singing.
Because for a split second, I even thought maybe the mom was going to get in the car and then he'd be like, actually, these are some friends of mine that I set it up and they're going to help her escape. or something like that.
Really simple. It would have tied up everything and provided a happy ending and provided closure for everyone if the dad came forward and realized like all of the harm he's caused in these people's lives. He shows up at this gala and it's like, actually, I'm the one you want.
Right. But no, they arrested an innocent woman.
Or they could have reasonably had somebody come in, some police officer, Officer Joe, whatever,
right,
and say like, "Look, we looked over the case. I mean, this or they could say, the statute of limitations have run out. So enjoy the song."
Right, and
that would have been fine.
Right.
Even if it didn't make any sense. I mean, just find a way that she's not, off to the supermax.
Yeah. Or even like I said, if they were like, they could be like, hey, you know what? We'll stick up for you in court because we know, or hey, we work for the government, so we know some high-powered people, so we'll help you.
And at the very least, let her watch your daughter finish the fucking song.
Exactly. Oh, and then at the end, Nate showed up.
Yeah. They're able to bring the major superstar who made a hit out of his song to this gala, but they can't find this dad, the deadbeat dad? Come on.
No.
Right.
Didn't he die? Or is he still alive?
No, he spent all the money and he disappeared.
Well, for the next installment should be like that woman prison.
Right, because that movie ended and I was pissed that she went to prison.
Yeah.
Sharing a cell with a shoe bomber. It's a co-ed jail.
Right. No, she'd probably go to like Camp Cupcake or like where Martha Stewart went.
Camp Cupcake?
Yeah, that's where Martha Stewart went to prison. And that was it. And that was the end. I hated this movie.
They were all sitting around toasting with Yoo-hoo. And like having this very what a day. Like, I'm so glad we're friends. It's like, you fucks sent this poor woman to jail.
Oh, and at the end, the adoptive parents found out that the woman who's having their baby was in labor.
Yeah.
These people
and they're running out and he's like, don't forget about a Yoo-hoo. So I wonder if Yoo-hoo's sponsoring them.
Well, Yoo-hoo should be ashamed. These people are morally, ethically, and professionally a disgrace.
Exactly.
And shame on people for making such a boring movie in what's supposed to be a fast-paced, media-saturated society that we live in. This is not acceptable.
Exactly.
There you go.
So that was it. But before we go, as I was telling you guys,
that was fun.
Before we started recording, I was chatting with our friend David Rosen, and so he wants to come back on the podcast. It's been years since we've had him on.
Oh, has it really? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, because he's married now and everything. So
let's do it.
We'll have him back very soon.
Okay.
And I apologize for picking this movie. I apologize to the listeners. I apologize to you two.
Even though the movie was terrible and boring, I enjoyed it because we had a lot to talk about.
Yes. I apologize to myself.
I just apologize to the ancient well.
That too, Kurt. Shitting in a well.
It's because of Yoo-hoo.
The well doesn't.
If you want to
shitting out the
Yoo-hoo.
If
you want to find me, if you want to find me and express your disgust for Kurt's idea about shitting in a well, you can find me on Instagram at Kirkendall. Jason.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen to us, because a lot of people listen and they don't hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button. It helps more people find the show. Leave that 5-star review. You can talk about how we talk about things like shitting in a well or Black China news. And you can find us all on Facebook, Instagram, and Threads at Lifetime of Hallmark Podcast, on TikTok at Lifetime of Hallmark Pod, and on Bluesky at Lifetime of Hallmark. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, and Bluesky at Big Shot Jason. Kurt.
Okay, I want to share this. Of course, we just lost the great Ruth Buzzy.
Yeah, R.I.P.
So I want to share this post that she put up on social media on October of 2023. Here it is. If a giraffe drank coffee, it would be cold by the time it got all the way down his neck. Did you ever think about that? No. All you ever think about is yourself.
She's not wrong.
So I think that's very funny.
That is funny.
She's not wrong. And if you are in Orlando, Florida, I'm going to be doing my show, The Real Black Swan, Confessions of America's First Black Drag Queen, in Orlando at the Orlando Fringe Festival from May 14th until May 26th.
Oh.
And to find out more, you can go to www.orlandofringe.org.
Okay.
All right.
And I guess that's it.
I guess so.
So I'll let you know about the gallery opening at the Circus of Books. I'm sure that I'll see all sorts of interesting art.
Okay. Oh, to wrap up
about next week.
Since we have to wrap things up, I will say my class reunion went well.
Oh, did you host?
We did that.
Did you host?
No, I was asked to be like the relief MC. I don't think there was any need for relief MC.
I didn't think there would be.
No. Did you do the monologue from White Lotus that you said you were going to do?
I probably could have. But I would have felt bad.
Really?
Yeah, going through all that. Yeah.
Did you see former classmates that looked like shit?
No, everybody looked great. It was a really good energy. I walked in with a good energy, and a good energy was received. So it was a really good experience. Everybody looked great. There were just like a lot of happy people and a lot of hugs, a lot of really warm exchanges. So yeah, I was really happy with it.
That's good. I'm glad you had a good time.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's it. So until next week, bye.
Bye.
Bye.